So let's talk a little bit about the resources women have now that they may not know about. Maybe they're, have thinning hair, or maybe they've been recently diagnosed with alopecia. What are some things that they can do to help their mental health, like you said, is really important? Maybe some other resources to boost their confidence. What are things that have helped you?
Yeah, so I think the main thing is to focus on your self-love, right? Like radical self-love, unconditional self-love. When you have a good relationship with yourself, nothing is going to mess with you. And something that I share with everyone, all the women in our community, is that we start thinking about ourselves as somebody that's broken, right? Like we're missing something, that something's wrong with us. And the first thing that you have to do is to shift that mindset to know that you're whole, perfect, and complete, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, right? This condition that we have is just like having diabetes or high cholesterol or any other medical condition. It's just the way it is, right? And people that deal with diabetes or high cholesterol are not like hiding because of it, right? It's just something that is happening to them. So the first thing I would say is work on your mindset. You have to have a really strong mindset and take care of yourself and your mental health. And number two is community. You have to rely on the community and know that there are 143 million people in the world with this condition. 6.8 are here in the United States. So you're not alone, right? And I know at the beginning it feels really lonely. You feel like you're the only woman in the world that's going through this, but you're not. And so the moment you start leaning into the community, just like here on Instagram, on Facebook, there are blogs, there are support groups, there are so many resources out there for you to talk to other women that you absolutely must. I think that is a non-negotiable with hair loss, and here is why. Because all those women have been in your shoes and they already tried all the things under the sun, right? So we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, and we're not trying to come up with, a new solution. It's just see what has been working for other people, right? They're like women have been wearing wigs for years and years and years. So let's learn from them, right? Like go on YouTube and, look at all the reviews before you do a purchase. Go on a support group if you're feeling really down. There's a lot of us that have been on the same road. So I think that leaning in the community and taking care of your mental health are priorities.
Definitely. So I'm curious to ask you kind of your first experience with a wig. Anything that you remember, that you recall? What was that like?
Wow, my first experience. Okay, so that's actually an interesting question, because I did not start wearing wigs until last year, right? Because for the first 6 years, I had a hair system. And it wasn't until last year, due to lockdown and other things, that I was like, you know what, I'm done, and I'm gonna start wearing wigs on toppers. So it wasn't until last year that I started wearing wigs. And I want to say that the first thing is removing the expectation that the wig is gonna look perfect the moment you put it on, right? So that happened to me, and I took it out and I put it on. And I was like, okay. But here's the deal. You have to get used to it, and you have to, learn how to style it. It's not going to be like a first thing, right? You have to wear it for a little bit, get used to it, learn how to style it, what looks good on you, maybe take it to a stylist so they can frame it for you. I think the most important thing with a wig is that you got to make it your own. And that for me was the key, was giving myself time to get used to it and learning how to style the different wigs.
That's awesome. And I know that, obviously through your Instagram and all of the work that you're doing in the industry, you're very open about wearing wigs. And I know a lot of women prefer to keep it a secret, which is totally fine. What are some things that have helped you be more open about it and not, feel ashamed of it, or be, quiet about it, like you said?
I think that for me has been reframing how I see wigs, right? Before, and this is many, many years ago, it was a way to mask my hair loss. And the way I look at them now is as another accessory, or a way for self-expression, because I love to dress up, and wigs really give me the opportunity to change my looks according to the weather, the mood, the occasion. you know, I really get to play with this, just like I play with my earrings, just like I play with my outfits. And but it's literally just that, switching your mindset of this is what I'm using to hide my hair loss instead of this is something that I get to use to have fun and look a little bit like myself and, you know, just play with it.
I love that. Yeah, it's always kind of just how you view something. And I know when, you know, we talked a little bit in the past to how you talked about a lot of celebrities wear wigs and hair pieces and they're open about it. It's another accessory like lashes and nails and something that, you know, we all can use to enhance our look. So maybe, like you said, just looking at it for what it is and also the joy it brings so many women. And I think that's what I love about Hair and Happiness is that you know, we do talk about the hair loss journey, which is not always the most, you know, exciting story to tell or enjoyable, you know, situation, but you know how wigs can come in and kind of be something that helps you, like you said, get back to your life. Like you don't want hair loss to just stop you from living your life.
Yeah.
Can come in and just help you just keep moving forward and growing and being confident and living your life, irregardless of your diagnosis or your hair loss. So I love that. What are some tips that you've learned within this past year that help you feel like your wig looks more natural? What are some things you do when you take it out of the box? What are things that you can maybe share with our viewers that they don't know yet?
Yeah, so I think with synthetics, it's really important that you take care of them and detangle them. Like get a detangler spray, and because if they start getting tangled and you don't take care of that immediately, that's gonna shorten the life of your wig. So that's for synthetics. Also for beginners, I would say start with synthetics because getting a human hair wig is an investment, right? And you want to make sure that you like the color, you like the style, because you may or may not be able to return it. So another tip is make sure that when you shop, check for the return policy, right? Make sure that maybe you have 3 days, or maybe you just need to pay a restocking fee. Something like that that will allow you some flexibility in case that you get it and you don't like it. So, you know, those 3 things. Make sure to check your return policy. If you're using synthetics, make sure you take care of them because you have to. And try different styles and colors before you invest in a human hair wig. I think that's super key. I do have actually just had one. I've only had one human hair wig, and I love synthetics, right? You would, I don't know. I started with human hair, and then I actually started wearing synthetics because I love the versatility. It's so great.
Definitely. Okay, so we have somebody, I've been wearing wigs for 20 years. I have thin hair, and people ask me all the time who my hairdresser is. I know a lot of women that wear wigs get that question. How do you answer that question, Valerie? If it was somebody that you don't know, do you immediately say it's a wig, or like kind of what is your general response to that question?
I really think it depends of the person and the time, right? So if this is somebody that's important to me, that I trust, I share with them. I said, thank you, it's a wig. Thank you, I got it at this place. I always say thank you because people are genuinely giving you a compliment, right? So it's owning that and accepting that, yes, it might not be the hair growing out of your scalp, but it's a compliment for you. So take that compliment, right? So first thing is thank you. Second is if it's somebody I trust, I said it's a wig. If it's somebody I don't know, I just say thank you, right? It's just a compliment and it is for me. So there's nothing wrong with just saying thank you and letting it go.
I think too, another probably preconceived notion is that when you're wearing a wig, maybe early on, you're very self-aware of it yourself, but others around you are not. So sometimes if somebody's looking at your hair, they're probably looking at it like, oh, your hair looks really pretty. I wonder who does her color. I wonder who cuts her hair. Maybe I should ask. But maybe you think, oh, they're looking at me. Why is she wearing a wig? Oh my God, she's wearing a wig. So it's like those negative thoughts, just like let them go. A lot of times it's not what we think. And like, I think we're so hard on ourselves as women, as people, just, you know, to have these standards that are unrealistic and always to think that people are judging us in a negative way, but that's not always the case. So it's really good to just, like you said, take the compliment, say thank you, and move on.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, so what are some of your favorite brands? I know you started wearing wigs last year. Are there some that have stood out that you really like and that you would recommend to others?
Yeah, so right now, and I'm gonna put it on in a minute. I am loving the same as collection from the Wig Company. I am wearing the Summer Heat. This is beautiful choice, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, Christina. This one,
The beautiful choice is longer, and Summer
right?
Heat
This one's
kind of
longer.
bob, yeah.
And so what I want to show you is the Summer Heat. It's short style, and I'm gonna put it on right now.
And then just so you guys know, beautiful choice. It's a really long layered style. It's so beautiful. That one's on sale for $109. I like to always give them the prices so they know Statements is very reasonably priced, especially because they have monofilament, they have lace fronts. So it's a really, really good price point for that quality. So yeah, Summer Heat is also $109. So you can choose between Summer Heat, which I love that it's a really good length. I'll let you talk about it. And the beautiful choice is like much longer. But yeah, look at the lace front. I love the color. And I know you
Yeah, the lacer is great. Sorry, guys. Oh, perfect. Okay, so yes, the lace front on this one is amazing.
It's so pretty. I love the color too.
Yeah, so I actually have it in two shades. And it's perfect for the heat because it keeps the style because it's synthetic,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for the Miami heat is perfect. I know I'm gonna go out and it's gonna stay like this. I
Exactly.
love how short it is and I'm not hot. That's the most important thing. So
Definitely.
this one is definitely a keeper for summer.
Do you know what color that is by chance? I think I can probably figure it out if you do. I'm pretty sure that's the F8/29. I know Julie's probably on here. She probably knows for sure. But the highlights
Yeah.
on the F8/29, so it's a medium brown base, and the highlights are kind of like a reddish tone. There's another color that I really love in the Statements too, which is the F8/24. So it's the same brunette base, but it has more of like a golden blonde highlight. So if you want the reddish tone, do the 829. If you want the blondish tone, do the 824. But it's so pretty. Love the style. And like I said too, it has a lace front and it has like an extended lace front so that it almost looks like it has a mono part. So right in the front, it looks a little bit more natural. And I love kind of the chunkiness of the highlight because that's really in right now. So I love that wigs, a lot of times you can see a lot of the current hair color trends with wigs that would cost so much to do on your own hair,
Oh
especially
yeah.
cuts and color maintenance and all of that. So, you know, when you look at the price of a wig versus the cost to get your own hair to look like that, and maybe it can't look like that, then it's really like a great option. Yeah. Everything looks good on you, Valerie, they're saying. Okay, so Statements is one of your favorite brands. What are some of your favorite styles? I know you showed us Summer Heat. Anything else you want to show us? You showed us Beautiful Choice and Summer Heat.
I really like something with Belage. Is that how you say that? So for people, if you're scared, and this is another tip, if you're ever concerned about changing the color, if you get something that is rooted,
Mm-hmm.
that helped me a lot to get things that are rooted. That for instance, I mean this one, you can see my bio hair is similar to the the color here, the black, right? So
Mm-hmm.
with this one, it melts, it blends very easily. If you were to get a wig that it's rooted with your natural hair color, it's really, I mean, you can put a little bit of your bio hair to outside so it looks more natural. So yeah, I would say that something rooted or with some kind of blush, I like.
Yeah, I was definitely going to say that's one of my favorite tips too. So if you're going to go blonde or let's say red, it's important for at least the root color to be similar to your eyebrow color. And that actually helps you transition from like one, like let's say you're wearing black one day or dark brown, and then the next day you're doing blonde, but it has a dark brown root. Just with your complexion and your coloring, it actually helps it look much more natural and you can pull it off easier than going with something that's all the way blonde from the roots to the ends. It would just be more obvious that it's a wig. Because everybody has a little bit of depth, even if their hair was just colored at the salon. You see that shadowing, and that's what that root does. Okay, you shared some of your tips about synthetic and starting with synthetic. I was actually talking about this earlier today with a customer about how a lot of women and stylists, they always assume that human hair is better, right? Because it's like, well, it's human hair. I have human hair, so I need to go with human hair. But I know you have both. So what are some of the pros and cons, in your opinion, of human hair versus synthetic?
Well, so the biggest one for me, because of where I live, is the humidity. So I have found I have a gorgeous stopper right now that is human hair, but unfortunately, if I take it out here in Miami, it gets super frizzy. It does. It's beautiful when I'm in Colombia in the cold weather, or anywhere that is cold. It's beautiful and perfect. But then if I go outside and the heat here, it doesn't hold, or the curls just get straight. It's not a thing, right? With synthetics, I know the style is gonna hold no matter what I do. And there are beautiful synthetic pieces right now that you can use. And yeah, so I would say the first thing is that the synthetics are always gonna hold the style. I think they are low maintenance, right? Again, you have to be very careful to use a wide tooth comb to detangle before you, like, when you take it out, make sure you remove all the tangles, then put it in your stand, right? Like, you have to be careful. You have to be more, I think you have to be more careful with synthetics so they last longer.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think if you go out with them, the style is gonna hold longer than maybe a human hair. So another, I mean, but then again, pros of the human hair is that it's gonna look more natural, right? I think mentally you're gonna feel more comfortable. I think and that's the thing. It's like it's mental. It's not really that a human hair is gonna look better, because I've seen synthetic pieces that look just like human hair, right? So it's gonna do the trick in your head that, oh, I'm wearing human hair, so nobody's gonna know. So maybe like that mental piece is better just because you feel a little bit more comfortable. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like them both. I can't really say, one's better than the other. It really depends on your situation, your budget, right? So another thing that I want to say is don't feel like you have to get 5 wigs, because you don't. I had one hairstyle with one piece for like 6 years, and I was fine, right? So now I'm playing with it and now I'm having fun, but that doesn't mean that you have to do that too, or that if you start wearing wigs, you have to have 30, because it's not about that, right? Like, don't feel pressured to get 1,000 things just because other people are doing that.
Definitely. Yeah. I would say start small, and just a tip from, like, to extend the life of your wig. If you decide, like, let's say you order a synthetic wig and you get it home and you decide, oh wow, I love this, and you see yourself wearing it, I would go ahead and order another one and just have a backup and like alternate. It's good to be prepared for the day that you wake up and you're like, oh wow, this wig isn't looking its best, and I have a meeting or I have this big event happening in a day, and it's like you need something right away. So I always, like, once you know it's good, like, have a backup. And that's
Yep.
just, in case something comes up, there's like a last minute party or wedding or important meeting at work and you just want to look your best, you have that backup. So tell everybody some of your favorite things about wigs.
Again, go back to being able to change my style. I love dressing up, and that, having that opportunity to just change my style and the hair color and everything, that's amazing. Being able to be ready so fast. Like, it used to take me literally 2 hours before work trying to patch my bald spots with sprays, or pigments, like all the things. I tried everything, and it would take me literally 2 hours to feel decent enough to go outside. Now I put in a wig, boom, I'm ready in 5 minutes. I think if I'm having a down day, it lifts up my mood. If I put in a wig that I feel fabulous, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you feel great, then it shifts your mood. So I really think, it helps. It helps with everything. It helps with how you feel, with how you look. And yeah, I wouldn't change it for anything. Honestly, I think one of the things that I said was, if I were to get my hair back, I still will probably have a wig. I mean, I wouldn't wear it on a daily, but I just think it's so fun to be able to change your style and play with it. So
And I know recently you did like a video on your Instagram showing how like you were wearing a headband and a hair wrap. So what are some things that women maybe, you know, they don't want to wear the wig for everything. Like let's say they're going to the gym or they're going to be doing their workout and they don't want to wear a full wig. What are some things that you do on your wig downtime?
Yeah, so I'm actually obsessed with headbands. I have a box. I have them in all colors, all styles. I love them. I think headbands are super important, so that's number one. Hats I used to wear a lot when I was in college. Now in Miami, it's hard. I mean, I don't know, it makes me really hot. So like my go-to really are headbands. There is a waterproof concealer called Derma Patch. That has been really helpful for me because things like dry shampoo that also has color I've used the L'Oreal root spray. Those things, when you go out, they melt. So sometimes you can get on your nails, you can get on your face, and it's not pretty. But if you get Derma Patches, I think it's waterproof and it stays longer. So sometimes I just do that. And honestly, when I'm home, I just wear my headbands. Like you'll see me wearing my headband and that's it.
Yeah, so that's a good point. And I'll just mention like everybody follow Valerie. If you have a question about the products that she uses, like on her wig downtime, just DM her. I'm sure you could send them a link for what you like to use. What are some, I know you talked a little bit about doing research for online shopping, but what are some things that you've learned along the way? Because I'm assuming that when you started wearing wigs, like with COVID and the lockdown, that you had to buy them online. Did you get to go into a store and try them on, or you had to just do online?
I didn't. I mean, I did before that one time when I told you that I got diagnosed again like 3 years
Mm-hmm.
ago.
Mm-hmm.
That same day I went to a wig shop, and I tried a bunch on. So I kind of knew what looked good because of that experience, even though it was just once,
Mm-hmm.
right? So learning from that experience, I would say if you have the opportunity to go to a wig shop, come with somebody that you trust. It's going to tell you the truth and it's going to be loving and accepting of your hair loss, right? I've heard a lot of stories from people that tell me, oh, I went with this person, but they were not acknowledging how I felt about my hair loss, right? So you don't want to go with somebody that's going to tell you, oh, no, but you look fine, everything's fine, right? Like that's the thing that we hate, right? We hate when people are not acknowledging our pain. So I think going with somebody that's going to acknowledge how you feel, that is going to support you, tell you the truth, that is going to be loving about it is super, super important. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really, really good advice. And just for those that joined a little bit later, and then those that have been on since the beginning, we haven't really talked about like some of the initiatives you've done for the hair loss community. Can you tell everybody about that and maybe how they can join and connect and be a part of that?
Absolutely. So right now, I just launched my community, my online community, Hair Loss Sister Circle. And this idea came from my coaching program. So I do one-on-one coaching and group coaching. And what I loved about my group coaching program was having everyone inside a container where you could vent, cry, talk about the good things, the bad things, right? Like that. It was so powerful to see women thriving because they had support. And I love the Instagram community that we have, but I think what's missing there is the face-to-face connection and making these relationships more real, right? Like when we're on Instagram, it's just about the DMs and the posts, and I feel like there's still a little bit of like hiding and like distance behind that, especially because you can get caught up just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, criticizing yourself for not looking like other women, or like why I'm not able to get this wig. And like I feel like Instagram creates a lot of comparison that can be detrimental for your hair loss journey. So I wanted to create something that will help everyone support each other, right? Like I think that it's going to take a village to break the stigma around hair loss. It's not only my job, but it's everybody's, right? But we have to come together to help each other. So in my new community, it's an online community, a new platform where you get to not only have my support, but the community on Zoom calls, right? You get to ask questions in real time. you know, review things together. If you want to show your new wig and ask, how does this look? How can I make this better? You have people that you can talk to in real time, and that's Hairless Sister Circle. I also have a group coaching program called Unapologetic Badass Academy, and it's a 6-month program where I support women with, you know, getting confident, creating a relationship with themselves, and they also have the community. So those are the 2 things. I try to be everywhere because I think that everybody needs access to this work. So I have a YouTube channel. You can find all the interviews that I've done. I love speaking to women in the community. So I've done probably like 3 or 4 online events where I've interviewed women from all over the world about hair loss and how they live their life with hair loss. So yeah, I mean, I have a lot of resources on Pinterest, YouTube, Instagram. You can go to my website, you can join my community. And yeah, just send me a DM. My DMs are always open.
I love that so much. And I think it's really remarkable and commendable that, you know, maybe something that you weren't super thrilled that you're dealing with, but you turned it around and you made it something that not only is positive for you, but for so many women. I mean, it's amazing. And I think all of us can help each other in different areas. Something that maybe was a struggle for you, you can flip it, make it positive, and use it to help others, even if it's just one person that you help. I think that's so huge and groundbreaking. So I applaud you for that. And I know, myself included, I was a part of one of those interviews, and just seeing everything that you did for that event, it was amazing. It was incredible.
Thank you, Christina.
Okay, so we have some questions. So how do you not get hot wearing helper hair? Any trick?
I'm sorry, can you let me go back? How do you not get hot wearing helper hair?
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe that there are times you're going to be hot, right? It's just the way it is. And I think it's about choosing a style that it's going to be, choosing a cap, and maybe Christina, you can speak to this. Which ones are the wig caps that are better for hot weather? I know that some of them are more open than others, so learning that, and I'm not a hair expert, so Christina can probably answer that for you. Paying attention to the wig cap and the length. I think, and sometimes you can have wigs that are a little bit longer than this, and just making sure that you can actually go back in a half ponytail, like making sure that your neck is ventilated, like make sure that your neck is open, like that's super important.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, as far as the cap construction, look for something that's open wefted on the sides and back. Maybe pin your hair instead of putting on a wig cap under if you have a little bit of length. Or if your hair is already short, just skip a wig cap and like all together and just put the wig on over your hair, because that'll alleviate like another layer of, you know, that's not going to let that air come through. So just maybe during the summertime, just avoid the wig caps and just pin your hair instead. I love putting a wig into a low ponytail, and I know the hairline sometimes can look a little odd, but I like to take like a scarf and just put it around like the hairline and tie it. It not only does it look like chic as a fashion statement, but also gets the hair off of your neck, like you said. And so you're just going to feel cooler doing that. And I actually wrote a blog, and you can find it on thewigcompany.com, just some summer tips. We actually, I think, did it last summer, but obviously we're in summer again. Right. Like it was just last summer. But we have summer coming back again, and it's getting hotter and hotter. So take a look at that blog, and there's some other tips in there too. And then I'll answer the other question from Betty. She says, why has the wig company changed their wig styles? I liked the other styles better. So I know a lot of the wig company styles get updated every so often. Obviously, I'm fairly new to the wig company, so I know that there have been styles that were discontinued. Maybe there were previous designers that we worked with that are no longer with the wig company, so things like that have happened. But in my personal opinion, I know what's coming and what we've launched since I've been here, and it's been so many good things and like upgrades, more colors, more styles. We're of course still working on doing more caps and even more styles and colors. But I love that, like, we have such an incredible team on hand. So Julie, if you DM the wig company and you have a wig that you loved that was discontinued or we no longer sell, just DM us and I'm sure she'll recommend something that's really, really similar. I always ask her for help for styles that I didn't know that were before I came on board. And she's incredible. Like, she knows all of them, like the back of her hand, and she'll help you find an alternative style. So okay, so Valerie, let's kind of wrap up a little bit. I love that you talked about your initiative and how women can reach out to you via DM and maybe join your program, get some help, get some advice. If they like, I love how you talked about Instagram, because Instagram can be something very positive where we can connect, find other people with like interests that are very uplifting, but also like you get into that habit of, like you said, comparing yourself to others. I love that you said that. So maybe sometimes taking it offline. I love that you do the Zoom classes and the coaching. So you guys, Valerie is an amazing resource. So reach out to her if you need to. And she'll give you more information about that. So actually, before we do any parting words of wisdom, what are some things that you love about the wig company? I always ask this question at the end. And why you would recommend the wig company to women that you know that are maybe going to experience hair loss or need a wig.
Yeah, so as I shared with you guys at the beginning of the interview, what I love about the wig company is this kind of initiatives, right? I think that we see a lot of, you know, pushing for buying this wig, this wig, this wig, and I see you guys creating, like, educating more, right? You have the Ask Christina program where you get to actually talk to you, a real human who understands what we're going through. I think that it's so important, right? Because the mental and emotional journey that we go through living with hair loss it needs support beyond the wig, right? And with that program, with doing hair and happiness, I do see all the initiatives that you guys have that are more educational for us instead of just trying to sell a wig. And that, to me, speaks volumes of your company.
Thank you. Okay. And then, so any last parting words of wisdom, anything you want to tell our viewers? And what I love about Hair and Happiness is that there may not be a ton of us on live, but we always repurpose the video, and it kind of lives for a much longer period of time on our YouTube channel. If you guys have missed, like, this is our 11th episode. I can't even believe we've had 11 amazing guests, every woman with like a story that's just equally amazing. So you can go to our YouTube channel and watch the previous episodes, and Valerie's episode from start to finish will also be on our YouTube channel probably by next week. So you can go back and watch it, and we also save it in our IGTV. But yeah, let's do some parting words of wisdom from Valerie, and we'll close off there.
Yeah, okay, so I want to go back to the Instagram piece, right? We're here, we're all live on Instagram. So I assume that you already know about the hairless community, which is an amazing, supportive, you know, I wish I had the hairless community back when I lost my hair. So definitely lean into the community, but don't fall for comparing yourself every single day, right? I see women doing this, and it's heartbreaking because we're all going through different things. Yes, it's the same journey, yet your life is completely different that, you know, I don't know, somebody somewhere else with a different support system, with a different stage of her life. Like, we're all living different things. So don't get caught up comparing yourself on Instagram. And if you are going to be on Instagram and you are going to be part of the community, make sure to contribute. Contribute, right? Don't become that person that's only consuming and reading. Try to compliment other women, help them out, right? If there's something that you know that, you know, you would like to share, make sure to contribute. If you're going to be in this community, be a contributor and not a consumer. So I think that it's so important, and I want to keep growing this community, especially to the Hispanic community, because I don't see a lot of Latinas in the hairless community. I think if you are Latina, you're watching, please come out, say hi. I think it's so important that women from all backgrounds start sharing about our experiences. So make sure to contribute and make sure to share.
I love that. And I think you're right. I mean, not everybody may be comfortable being open about their hair loss or creating an Instagram where it's just about their hair loss and their wigs. But I love what you said, even just being positive on other people's pages, posting positive comments, That is huge. I love that. If we can all take that away with us today, just being very kind to each other, kind to everybody's situation. We don't know. A lot of times Instagram obviously is just like the highlight reel of our life, right? We don't know what each of us are going through behind the phone or the camera. So always be kind to each other and everybody's journey and the stage in life that they are with their hair loss or being open about it. I think that's amazing. And that's incredible advice for just anybody watching and listening in. So thank you so much. Thank you everybody that took time out of their Thursday to join us. It was so amazing talking to you, Valerie. I know we can go on and on and on, and we have before. So I'll here so we can all enjoy the rest of our evening. But thank you everybody who joined us. Special thanks to the wig company, obviously, for making this all happen. And thank you so much, Valerie, for joining and giving us so much of your amazing energy and advice.
Thank you, everyone. I will see you soon.
Yeah.
Reach out on the DMs.
Everybody have a great evening. Bye, Valerie.
Bye.